Okay, so I folded my fabric in two, front in two, back in two, so everything is folded in four. I went ahead to drop my top line, which I'm going to be using as a guide for every other measurement. So the first thing I'm going to be measuring is the bubu length. For this bubu, the length I use, the measurement for the length is 62. So 60 will go for the bubu length after we take in our 2 inches as allowance. So I went ahead to drop the measurements in like 2 or 3 places. Then I used my ruler to connect it. So that way I have my M line ruled out. I know where the length is. Then I went ahead to drop the neck for back. The back neck depth is going to be 1.5 for this design, and the neck width will be 3 inches. So I measured 3 inches for the width, and I used my curve roller to just curve it out like so. Then the next measurement that I'm going to be taking will be my shoulder measurement. So from the center back, I measured shoulder. The shoulder that I'm going to be using is going to be the whole measurement on the fabric because it's not that wide. So from that point, I measured down 1.5. That will be my shoulder slant. For that shoulder slant, I connected it from the neck point to the 1.5 that I dropped as my shoulder slant. So that is on my shoulder. From the shoulder now, I'm going to be measuring my sleeve opening, which I used 11 inches, and I just marked it out like so. So the next thing now is for me to go ahead and measure the body measurement. I use 17.5 for the measurement. You have to multiply it by 4. So you should know what you're thinking in your mind. If you want it as big as 17.5 or you want to use 15, but I use 17.5 for this design because there's going to be a belt and it's going to be one size fits all. So I dropped 17.5 in like 3 or 4 places. Then on the M line too, I dropped same amount, 17.5. I used my ruler to connect. But for this design, I'm going to put an opening by the side. Two sides we have slit. So I went ahead to measure 15 inches for the slit opening. Then I connected it up all the way to my sleeve area, just like I did. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm just trying to like arrange the fabric to ensure that everything is properly placed. Then I will go ahead and cut out the neckline. But before I do that, I have to put seam allowance for the shoulder. That's what we're going to use to join the shoulders together. So I drop half an inch, half an inch, half an inch. Then I cut out the back neckline. At this point, the two fabrics are still together. The front and back, they are still together. So I cut the back measurement out. So before I separate the fabric, before I separate front from back, I went ahead to cut out the excess from M line. Then I cut the side from down all the way up on the line that I ruled. I'm cutting it out. Then I'll cut it to the sleeve area. And that's what I just did. It's time to separate the front from back. And remember, you have to notch your 15 inches for the side slit so that when you want to join, that will be a guide. After which, I went ahead to measure out my front neckline. So I used 3.5 as a guide. Then I used my curve ruler to just measure it out. Use my curve ruler to curve out the neckline like so. So there's going to be an opening too in front. That's like a front slit. So I used 3 inches for that slit that I want to put in front. I cut out the front neckline, then open the slit. I just slit it open, like I cut it open. 3 inches deep is 3 inches. Then this is what it looks like after opening it up. All right, so let's go ahead now and cut the ashoke for the neckline. I just cut my ashoke. There is no measurement, just freestyle. So I'm going to pin it down. And the only thing I need to do is just to trace the neck on the fabric, on the bubu. Trace it and cut the ashoke. If you have any excess on the shoulder, go ahead and trim it off. And remember that our bubu has a slit in front, so we're going to transfer the same slit that we have on the bubu. We transfer it to the ashoke, and that is all we have to do. We go ahead and open the Bubu out and put the ashoke on it. So right now, because I just freestyle, no measurement, so I just started to do a design. You can be creative, just do any design you want, but this is what I just came up with. I just freestyle, put that design on the neckline. Then I went ahead to trace the design that I put on the ashoke. Like I said, freestyle. You can be creative about your own, do whatever you're comfortable doing. This is what I just like to do. I don't want to put four corner. Then I will go ahead and iron it out, fold my seam allowance of an inch so that I'll be able to place it. So this is what it looks like. But let's go ahead and sew it. But before we sew, I'm thinking of measuring out the belt. Okay, so let's fold our fabric back and measure where we're going to place our belt. We need to place belts. We need to cut our facing for the front and back. But I will show you how to cut facing for front. Then you can use that same measurement to cut, same method to cut back facing. So for the belt placement, I measured 18 inches from my shoulder. 18 inches from my shoulder, then I ruled it out. Then from the center front, I measure 7 inches in. So I will pin it down so that I can equally mark it out on the other side, like so that we'll place the belt on both sides. I went ahead to open. This is where the belt will be on both sides. So we'll go ahead now and cut facing for front. That facing is what we're going to use to turn the ashoke when we join it to the neck. So I just place the fabric, just like the way I cut the ashoke, that's how we're going to cut the facing too. We'll just trace the neck on the facing and cut off the excess that we have on the shoulder. And don't forget that we have a slit opening in front, so we're also going to transfer that slit opening to the facing. That's the front facing. If you want to curve the facing, go ahead and curve like curved mine, and use that same method to cut the back. You can cut your own back bodies. Then if you want to add belts, I just use pieces of fabric, just fold it, sew it down and turn it in out. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join the shoulder to shoulder, join my facing too, and I pinned it to the neckline so that I can sew it all the way round. That's it. Okay, I've joined it, I've ironed the facing, put my label, put my brand name. I joined the side seam. The only thing left at this point is just to hem it, and that will do later. Then I saw these pieces of ashoke and I felt like instead of wasting it, let me just add it to the sleeve, and that is what I did. I added it to the sleeve. After sewing the bubu, it looks so nice. I love it, and I thought it won't be a bad idea really if you add pocket to it, and that's why I decided to, okay, let's add pocket. Then I went ahead to take measurement of where I'm going to place my pockets. I measured from the shoulder. I measured 19 inches. That's where my pocket will start from. So I ruled it to the side seam. I measured from that side 7 inches. That will be the pocket opening. So now, if you want me to take a video, if you want me to make a video on how to insert pockets, please drop it in the comment section so that I can make a video on how to insert pocket. I measured 7 inches, which will be the pocket opening. I measured it on both sides. So I will go ahead and look for pieces that I will use for the pocket bag, and that's what I'm scouting for. So I found this. I'm going to, wow, this is the part that nobody talks about, where you have to use your seam ripper. This is what goes on behind the seam. So, but it is what it is. We just have to rip off the seam for that 7 inches where we're going to insert our pocket bag. Like I said, it's an afterthought. If not, we won't need to go through this. This is the part that, man, I don't like it. But right now, we have to do it. So I went ahead to open the seam. Then I'll be inserting my pocket bag. Like I said earlier, this might not be the best way to learn how to fix pocket. If you need me to create a video on how to insert pockets, different types of pockets, inseam pocket, patch pocket, different types of pocket, let me know. I will make a video on how to create pocket. So I went ahead to just fix my pocket bag on the 7 inches, even though the pocket bag itself is like 10 inches. So I still have my pocket deep with extra 3 inches. So that's what I'm doing right now, pinning the pocket bag to the pocket mouth. Then after which, I'll just take it to the sewing machine and join it all together. I've done that for one side, I will have to do for the other side. So now the pocket bag is fixed, the M-line is done, everything is looking pink. Then I'll go ahead and give it a good press.